Welcome back to TacNTrack. And that over there is the dirt Douber. So if you haven't seen any videos from us for a while, you might think we're not racing. We actually have been, and we're going to go back and cover all 3 races. But before we do so, figured we might want to talk about what's going on here. So we've been racing for 2 years now with a 3-speed automatic. We've been very fast, but not quite fast enough racing with this guy. So, we went through and bought a whole nother car out of Georgia that had a manual transmission in it. Right? Sounds easy. We just perform the swap, stick a manual in this thing. And if you look, we've got a manual transmission here. Last 3 races we've been racing with a manual. Well, that hasn't been going so well. So we've actually been able to pull out some decent finishes, and we'll go back and look at all 3 races. You'll find timestamps down there at the bottom as we're looking at these. And we'll talk a little bit about what's been going on with the car. So, first night was Friday night. Double points race, so we had to make it there. Now, we got done. We put this car back on the ground Thursday morning at 2 a.m. and we're racing Friday night, and I have to work on Friday. So at 2 a.m. on Friday, 2 a.m. Friday morning, she hits the ground. We drive straight to the racetrack. Of course, we have 0 testing, no clue if anything works. We get there for hot laps. Somehow, this brake line is missing the crush washer in it. We actually found it back here in the driveway later, but that was missing the brake line crush washer. So I've got a major brake leak. So we don't go out for hot laps. We don't go out for qualifying. So we start the race dead last. And we'll watch that race real fast. Alright, so after watching that race, we can tell that she's popping out of gear consistently, really struggling to get any kind of quality lap time down. But because we had 2 other cars disqualified, we were still able to outrun some of the pack, and we had that low 9-car field. We were able to end up with a 4th place finish in a double points night. I'll take that. That worked really well to help boost us in where we were in the points, even though that was an absolutely horrible race. So, coming off of that, we're racing the very next night, Saturday night. So I go through and make some adjustments to the clutch because the clutch was smelling horribly, and some adjustments to the shifter. And there is the shifter linkage adjustment. Still don't get it quite right. We go out for hot lap qualifying, still have problems with it. So what we end up doing is we take a bungee cord, attach it from right here on my now dirty shifter back to the back of the roll cage right there, and you can see where my decking is pulled back so we could get to it, and we hold it in 2nd gear. That works decently well, but the shift from 1st to 2nd at that point in time is almost impossible to do, so you've got a real big lag time there. Car's really difficult to drive still. Not as bad as the night before, but still problem. Right, so after that, we're going to make some adjustments, and I don't know if we can see the clutch pedal adjustment, but it's up there. We make some adjustments to the clutch pedal. A little tip online tells me put the transmission in 3rd gear, and then from there adjust the linkage. So basically you loosen that little nut right there completely, you put the transmission in 3rd gear, then you tighten that nut with it in 3rd gear, and it should give you pretty good adjustment. So try that. Think that's going to solve my problems. It doesn't. So we go out the next night. We'll watch that race. before we get to that, let's kind of talk about how this was structured. We went back to heat racing, but we had no hot laps, no qualifying. We just went straight out of the trailer to a heat race. Then from there, we're going to go straight to a feature. So not as much track time as we're kind of used to, and very limited time to make adjustments. So we'll watch that race, and we'll come back and talk about some more things. Alright, so one thing I kind of forgot to say earlier. We have a new GoPro mount, but the GoPros are actually overheating. It is hot enough now to where we really have to worry about the GoPros overheating. So this mounted right here is a GoPro 12. It's been overheating quite quickly. You'll see very limited footage from that. Back here on the back, this is a GoPro 10. It generally lasts pretty good. Now, all reliable and faithful, mounted here on the roll cage, kind of giving you this over-the-shoulder look that you guys see. That is a GoPro 9, and it is much more reliable, but with how hot it has been in this car, and how hot it's been outside, even that GoPro has been giving us some issues, so we're missing some footage from some of these races. I'm sorry guys, it just kind of is what it is, so I apologize. Alright, so with that race, we thought we were going to have a decent race. Well, still transmission problems. So, car didn't want to hold in second gear, so I had to physically hold it. And we don't have power steering, so this is all manual steering car. It takes a lot of effort to steer it. And so holding it in second gear, driving it one-handed, not exactly the easiest thing in the world to do. So that was problematic. But put it together, still, once again, ended up with a decent finish in 5th place. Especially considering everything that was going on, I thought that was a pretty good finish for us. But with a few laps to go there, you probably can't hear it in the video, but I got a noticeable pop in second gear here. After that point, second gear, it goes in, but there's nothing there. There is nothing there. It just grinds. So, shifted to third. While we had limited power, I was able to hold everybody kind of off with third gear. And right there with a half a lap to go, which we probably don't have footage of, that let loose. So to 4th we go. We ended up finishing the race in 4th gear, but now I'm stuck in the infield because she won't go into 1st. Still won't. There's nothing in 2nd. 3rd gear is gone. And all I have is 4th and reverse. So that leaves us with where we are now. We're going to have to pull the transmission again. So, few things that I did here. I ordered new bushings for right there. I ordered a new cable end for right there. I've ordered a new transmission. I also ordered a new clutch pedal adjuster. And just for good measure, I also ordered grip tape for that exposed clutch pedal there, because that's not exactly grippy. So, order grip tape, skateboard style grip tape for my pedals. So, next step for us here is to pull this transmission. As you can see, I've kind of already gotten a head start here. Those are the axles out. Pull this transmission, pop it open, see what's wrong with it, and see how badly destroyed it is. We'll get our diff out of this transmission, which is actually the diff out of that transmission, and we will throw it. Just these cars come with open diffs, so this transmission factory had an open differential, so did the 04 transmission that's in the car. We've added a limited slip to it. I'd love to have a locked diff, but that's against the rules, so we've got limited slips. So diff coming out of there into there, we're going to have to get that out of there, pop that transmission open, grab the diff out of it, and dump it in the new transmission when it gets here with the new shift linkage that, well, not linkage, but bushings that we have, and the new clutch pedal adjustment, and hopefully that solves our problem. But as soon as I get that transmission out, I'll pop it open and we'll try and figure out what's going on in there, because I have a feeling it's going to be a hot mess. Alright, so after those races, you're probably guessing that this transmission, which is now out of the car, is completely shot. And I think you'd be right. So this is the bearing that goes right here. It has disintegrated. But as you start looking, that's metal shavings. And not a little bit of them, a lot of them. This gear, which I don't know if you can see it here, but that one down there is obviously cracked. I'm sure we have some others. I'll try and spin it around and see what we can see here. It's the only obvious one I can see from this end, but as you look, I mean, there's more metal shavings, more metal shavings. I'm sure if we were to pop this further apart, we'd find a lot more damage. But I'm gonna stop right here, because the only thing I needed out of here was the diff. So got a new transmission on the way. Hopefully we'll make it to the next race. Oh yeah, listen to that sound. That's not good. So hopefully we'll make it to the next race. We did miss one yesterday for me. It was the Saturday race, so we missed that one. Hopefully we'll get this thing back together in time for next week. It's just going to depend on whether or not we can get the transmission here in time. But we did buy some new things to go with this. We bought new bushings, new clutch adjuster. So hopefully this will be in much better shape next time we go to the track than it was last time.